Hello and welcome to this game pickups video where I'm going to be going through all of the stuff that I've added to my game collection throughout September, October and November. It's actually been quite a while since I've done one of these videos, and the reason for that is that I've not really been picking up that many games recently. But I figured I might as well do this now before we hit the end of the year, and then in December I might do like a Christmas pickups video or something like that. So yeah, without further ado, let's get on with the first game that I picked up all the way back in September, which was Oddworld Soulstorm for the PS5. Now if you've been watching the recent videos on the channel, you'll probably know that I actually didn't buy this. This was an anniversary present from my girlfriend, and it was actually not just the game, but it was the entire collection edition. So it came with like a statue, an art book, and all manner of other things. I did do a video where I unboxed the collector's edition, so if you wanted to watch that to see what was actually in there and to see my reaction to it, that video is on the channel. I'll link it in the description as well for easy access. But yeah, also if you want to know my opinion on the game itself, I've done a very long and detailed review of the game, which is also on the channel. So yeah, I'm not going to go into too much detail here because there's literally a 50-minute video where I ramble about it. So yeah, check that out if you're interested. But yeah, to sum it up quick, originally when this game came out, I didn't like it at all. I actually got it digitally because it was free on PlayStation Plus. And I actually decided not to review it just because of how bad it was in the state it launched in. But now I actually quite like it. I think there's quite a lot of things to love about it, even though it does still have quite a lot of flaws. But there is a big upcoming update to it, which aims to fix a lot of those flaws. So when I revisit the game when that update's out, we'll see if the game's any better. The next game I picked up was actually at the very end of September, and this is one I needed for a video, so I'm happy I saw this when I did, otherwise I would have needed to have got it online. But it's Hey Pikmin for the 3DS. As a lot of you probably know at this point, I'm in the middle of a Pikmin marathon. I've just finished my review of Pikmin 3, and I've actually started playing Hey Pikmin as well now. So yeah, so far the Pikmin series has been reasonably straightforward because all of the games have been structured kinda similarly and controlled the same. But this one is actually different because this is a 2D side-scroller that uses elements from the main Pikmin games. I actually got this from a shop called CEX and I got it for £10, so it was actually pretty cheap, especially considering that it is still relatively new. This came out in 2017, which is actually kind of interesting because for some reason I remember this coming out quite a long time before that. Now, because I am working on a review of this, I don't really want to talk about it too much, so for now I'm just going to put this aside and we'll move on to the next game. But yeah, hopefully you're looking forward to that video releasing reasonably soon. Now we're moving on to the first game I picked up in October, and this one is a bit of a weird one because I actually picked up 2 copies of this on release at the same time, which as far as I'm aware I've never done before. If I've ever double dipped on a game, it's normally way after that I get the second copy. So yeah, this was a bit of a weird situation, but it was Super Monkey Ball Bananamania, so you know I had to do it. So obviously the 2 copies of this that I got were the Switch version and the PS5 version. I got the PS5 version because I wanted like kind of the best version of the game that I knew was gonna like run really well and load really fast. But then I wanted the Switch version because I wanted to be able to play it portably. And I have to say, the Switch version is actually really close to being on the same level of quality as the PS5 version. Like visually and the way it runs and everything, it's almost on par. And even the loading times are pretty much just as good. This is kind of the one area between the 2 different versions where you can tell a difference. But the Switch version isn't bad for its loading times at all, and it's still a smooth experience. Now, as a lot of you probably know, I'm a big fan of the Super Monkey Ball series, and at this point I've actually reviewed every single one of the main series ones, including Bananamania. So, yet again, if you want to know my full thoughts on the game, you can check out my review, which again, I'll link in the description for you. It seems a lot of these things that I've been picking up recently I've been doing videos on, which is a good thing I think, because it means that I've been wanting to talk about everything that I've been adding to my collection. But yeah, to sum up what I think about Bananamania, it's easily the best game in the series since the originals, which is in part due to the fact that it is a remake of the original two games. But it is a good remake, and it's definitely a good way of getting into the series if you didn't play the games that released all those years ago. I don't know if I'm gonna do a Games of the Year video or anything, but if I was to do that, Super Monkey Ball Bananamania would be high up on that list. The last game that I picked up in September, I actually didn't technically pick up, but my girlfriend ended up getting this because she liked the look of it. I have played it a little bit, but not as much as her quite yet. But it's Hot Wheels Unleashed for the PS5. Now, if you don't know anything about this game, it probably seems like a bit of a random purchase, and I guess to some extent it is. But we're a big fan of like arcade-style racing games. We've played some of the Trackmania games together, and we really like doing that. And we're always on the hunt for something that is like a sort of similar gameplay style to that, but we never normally manage to find anything. So this is where Hot Wheels Unleashed comes in, because this is basically as close to a Trackmania game as you could possibly get without it being Trackmania. It's this really arcadey racing game where you play as toy cars going around Hot Wheels tracks that are set up in like apartments and like building sites and stuff like that. So there's quite a lot of variety in the terms of environments you're racing through. There's quite a lot of gimmicks with things like big spider toys shooting webs at you, and there's bits where you go off of ramps and you can sort of like control yourself in midair. But the main sort of gameplay mechanic of the game is all about drifting and building up boosts so that you can get around the courses faster. I would actually say that this was a somewhat difficult game, and for some reason I'm actually kind of struggling to get fully used to the controls. I've played so many games like this, and I've played a ton of kart races, and I always manage to pick them up quite easily. But with this one, I'm just not quite getting it as easily as I normally would. I don't know if it's because the cars I'm using don't have like good enough stats or something. But yeah, that's been an interesting experience. It's not that it controls badly or anything, it's just a personal issue with me struggling to get used to the feel of it, I think. But yeah, I think the strongest element with this game, outside of the like core gameplay being really fun, is probably the graphics. For some reason this game actually looks like really, really good, and the more that you race with cars, the more like dented and scratched they get. And when they get a little bit damaged, it kind of showcases how they actually look like toy cars, which I found really, really cool. Like, there's moments in the game where it literally almost looks photorealistic, it's that good. And it's kind of weird how nobody really talked about this, because I actually think that it's a really fun little game, and plus it's actually reasonably priced as well. I mean, we got it on release and it was £40 on PS5. So there was no like inflation for the PS5 version or anything. I would imagine that it's gone down in price by now, so you can probably pick it up for like £30 if you get it used especially. I'm not sure exactly how the Switch version compares to this. This runs, I think, 60 frames a second, and it's like really fast, but it's also really smooth and it never drops any frames. I would imagine that the Switch version either goes for 30 frames a second or struggles to maintain 60. But I'm just guessing, it might end up being a really good port or something. But yeah, you would have to do research on the Switch version if you wanted to pick that version up. But yeah, if it is good, it would make a perfect Switch game, because obviously all of the races are quite bite-sized, so you could easily play it on the go. If there was one kind of criticism I had of it, it would probably be that the online is quite bare bones. As far as I can remember, there was only really one online mode, which basically just throws you into a random match, and there's not really any like complex ranking system or anything like that. I feel like there could have been a little bit more substance to that, but besides that, this is a great little game. Don't go into it expecting like perfection or anything, and you'll probably be quite happy with it. Now we move on to the final game pickup of the video, which I actually only got a few days ago in November, and this one was actually an early Christmas present from one of my very, very good friends. So thank you for getting me this, because I've been wanting it for ages. and it is Resident Evil 5 for the PS4. Now, there's a lot of reasons that I've been wanting this. I've been wanting it because I remember playing it quite a long time ago when it first came out on the Xbox 360, and despite what most people say, I actually remember this being really good. Like, I remember having quite a lot of fun with it, even though it's widely considered to be one of the weaker Resident Evil games. So yeah, I'm interested to replay it for that reason, to see if there's something there that, like, everybody else is just missing and that I really love about it. But another reason that I've been wanting it for ages is because I'm always on the hunt for co-op games, and I want to start playing more of them with, like, all of my friends and my girlfriend and stuff. I want to make that more of a regular thing. So this is the perfect game to start doing that with, because, as you probably know, this is an amazing co-op game. I mean, out of all of the co-op games that I've played, and I have played quite a few, I would probably go as far as to say that this is up there as one of the very best. Maybe that's why I had so much fun with it, because I've never actually played this on my own in the single player. I've always played this with a friend. So yeah, maybe that's kind of like altered my opinion of it, because it always does when you're playing games co-op. It automatically makes them better. But yeah, I kind of feel like that's the way that it was intended to be played, so I don't feel like it's fair to criticise it as a single-player experience, really. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, this is a great game, and I can't wait to dive back into it and complete it. But yeah, that's every single game that I've added to my collection over the last 3 months. I know that this video has been quite a lot shorter than usual. That's just because I've not been collecting that many games. In fact, I think there was only 5 featured in this video. I guess technically 6 if you count the other copy of Bananamania. But yeah, I'm not sure exactly why that is. I think it's a mixture of things. It's that there's not been a lot of new games coming out that I've actually wanted. And also I've been wanting to not get any older games. Just because I've been wanting to tackle my back catalogue, really. But yeah, hopefully you still enjoyed the video. Give it a like if you did, subscribe to see more stuff like this coming soon, and also let me know what you've been picking up recently too. And until next time, bye!